rarely without its challenges. There are some, however, that can be so overwhelming that it seems impossible to move on. Whether it's the death of a loved one or feelings of anxiety, it is important you know that help is available for every problem life throws at you. Hi everyone, good evening and welcome to our second episode of Health Talk, which mainly focuses on our mental health during these unprecedented times. Undoubtedly, this is a time of incredible anxiety and stress. Therefore, focusing on what makes us feel nourished, on what gives us meaning, is a part of easing those feelings and giving us a solid foundation. We know that we are going through a situation none of us would have ever predicted. Hence, it becomes crucial to take care of ourselves both physically and mentally. For this very purpose, we have with us today Dr. Angelica D'Souza, who is going to throw some light on how you can cope with the death of a loved one and help you overcome stress and anxiety in the most appropriate way. Angelica D'Souza is a practicing homeopathic doctor with 12 years of clinical experience. She is associated with the Family Commission as a medical resource person for marriage prep courses and a resource person for various training and development programs at the diocesan level as well as at secular organizations. She is actively involved in preaching and sharing God's word at the diocesan level. As part of her profession and ministry outreach, she counsels youth and adults. Without any further ado, I now hand over the session to Dr. Angelica.
Hello everyone. I extend a warm welcome to each one of you listening to this session. Even as this talk that I give you unfolds before you, I invite you to take a closer look into your own state of mind at the moment and look at what is the quality of your own mental health at the moment, and whatever you receive from here, let's just put it into practice in our own lives. And especially I would invite you to use what you receive here and reach out to others who are struggling in their lives at the moment, especially the ones who are going through a rough patch or who are going through a difficult time of grief because of the loss of a family member. And let us together overcome this, my dear friends. Although we cannot yet embrace each other and hold each other's hands physically, let's do it virtually. Let's reach out to one another and overcome this time of turmoil that we are all experiencing. What we are going through right now is no less than trauma. There's so much of confusion, there's so much of chaos, there's so much of gloomy atmosphere around us because all we hear about is sickness. And I do not want to go into the details of what our current situation is because I'm sure there is enough of that already happening around us. So I won't focus on that. But yes, there is a lot that we are struggling with right now. We do not know what to expect. There's so much of unpredictability. We do not know what is going to come in the next 2-3 months. People are talking about a third wave. People are talking about, vaccines, and it's really confusing, and it's really difficult to digest and to be able to stand strong in the midst of all this. But at the same time, it is something that we have to do in order to overcome this situation. One of the most difficult emotions that we've been struggling with, especially in the last few weeks, is that of grief, especially after losing a loved one. I'm sure each of us have lost at least 1 or 2 people whom we knew or whom we closely associated with in the last few weeks. Through the last year, we've been hearing of so many deaths. But in this last few weeks, say 6 to 8 weeks, the numbers have been increasing, and each time we hear the phone ring, we are anticipating, we are worried whether it's going to be some bad news. And while we watch the news, so many horrible stories unfolding. The pain of grief, the pain of loss, my dear friends, is deep. It is inevitable. It is powerful. It is capable of draining you out, and it can really bring you down. But my dear friends, this is something that we have to learn to overcome. We have to gather ourselves, overcome this grief that we are experiencing, maybe each of us at different levels, but we have to overcome it and move on. The first thing that I would want to tell you is that you must allow yourself to grieve. Allow yourself to cry. If you have had a close family member or a friend or a relative or somebody you know associated with regularly has died in these last few weeks, and you feel like crying, it's okay to cry. Please do not hesitate to vent your emotions. Sometimes we, in the quest of wanting to be strong, sometimes we want to be strong for the rest of our family members who are probably, emotionally weaker. So we think that we must be strong and we must not let our emotions go haywire and we must not cry. That's not true. Each one of us requires to vent our emotions in some way or the other. Otherwise, this grief that you stifle inside of you is going to lead to deeper damages into your system, not just in your mind, but also in your physical being. And it may follow, into chronic illnesses and sicknesses, etc. So don't let that happen. So dealing with our grief, handling it well, and overcoming it is something that has become an urgent need for each one of us. My dear friends, if you are experiencing the pain and the loss of a family member or someone you knew close, please feel free to cry and to let your emotions out. Talk to someone you know. Talk to someone you can share with. Talk to someone about the person who died. It's okay to relive memories. It's okay to remember them. And when you remember them, if tears are flowing, it's all right. There is nothing to be ashamed of crying. There is nothing to be feeling guilty about. And there is nothing to feel weak about. It's not a sign of weakness. In fact, it is a very important part of the healing process in order to overcome this grief. While I talk about this, I also want to give a little warning to not slip into feelings of guilt. This is something that we are experiencing very commonly in the last few weeks, especially those who are struggling with their loved ones in the hospitals and who are really sick. We have feelings of, I should have taken her to another doctor, or I should have taken him to another hospital, I should have called the ambulance earlier, or I should have checked the oxygen earlier. I would have probably managed to save my mother, my father, my brother, my sister, my relative. My dear friends, don't go into that zone. Don't slip into that feelings of guilt, because it's going to lead to nothing at all. It's not going to change anything, and it will just keep destroying you further. If you know anybody else also who is going through feelings of guilt, reach out to them and tell them that you did your very best. You did your very best, and nothing that you could have done differently or nothing that you could have said differently would have changed the time and the date that was already set. My dear friends, we all have come here into this world with one expiry date marked on us, and we cannot change it, because those dates are marked according to our purposes for which we are born. We have a purpose, we have a time, and when that purpose is fulfilled and when time is completed, we move on and we pass on to the other side. My dear friends, there is one thing that I want to tell you. This gap or this void that has been left behind by the person who died is never going to be filled up. No matter how much you cry or how much you remember that person, or no matter how much other people try to console you, it's never going to fill up that void that your mother or your father or your friend has left behind. Why? Because nobody is replaceable. None of us are replaceable. Nobody can take the place of that person that you lost. I lost my mom 14 years back. It's been 14 years, but we still miss her. That space that she left behind is still not filled up, and it will never be. But my dear friends, joy comes from the fact that even this passing away or this death was part of God's perfect plan in our lives. Joy comes from the knowledge of the fact that someday we will be reunited. We will all meet on the other side, and we will all experience the joy of being together once again. Let us look forward to that reuniting. Let us look forward to all of us, meeting on the other side. And the pain of the loss will become easier to bear. My dear friends, overcoming grief is a process. It is not something that can happen overnight. It's not like a switch that you put on and off. You put on and I cry, and you put it off and I stop crying. It doesn't work like that. So give yourself the time that you need to heal. It may take days, it may take weeks, it may take months even. But allow yourself to take the time to heal. There is no need to rush. There is no need to push it. There is no need to stop your feelings of grief. There is no need to come down on yourself heavily or to be harsh with yourself. So take your time, because it is a process, and each one heals at different timings. So it's all right to take your time, but there should be a stop to it. Don't let it go on and on and on, because then it's going to lead to further trouble. There needs to be a time that you must stop grieving. Now, how do you know that you have been healed of the grief or you have overcome the grief? When you remember the person who has died, the memories must bring smiles on your faces, not tears. The moment you start smiling when you remember your loved one, it means that you have begun to move on. You have begun to heal. You have begun to overcome the grief. Some of us feel that if we stop crying or if we try and forget, then it will be something wrong, or it will be bad to do to the loved one. It's like forgetting the loved one. No, nobody is asking you to forget your loved one. You must in fact have fond memories of them. Remember them often in your prayer. Remember them often at Mass. Remember them often when you enjoy together with your family. It's all right. But the memories must bring smiles, not tears. And when they bring smiles, you know that you have reached a better place with the healing process. The third thing that I want to talk about is what you need to pay attention to as far as your nutrition and exercise is concerned. If you are going through a patch of suffering in terms of grief or the loss of a loved one, be careful not to turn to stimulants like coffee and alcohol to numb the pain. Grief is painful and the pain is real, but sometimes we think that turning to coffee or to stimulants like alcohol will numb the pain and will solve our problems. You also know that it is only going to be temporary. Don't look for temporary fixes, my dear friends, because once you get hung on to that, addictions will follow and it becomes very difficult to come out of it. And I need not tell you what are the harmful effects of these things on your body, on your physical being. So please do not resort to these temporary fixes, but instead focus on your nutrition, on eating healthy, on eating things that you enjoy, things that you love to cook and love to eat, or anything that relishes your palate. So I would want you to pay attention to your vegetables and fruits intake, and also to your water intake. Drink plenty of water and make sure you are getting sufficient rest. 7 to 8 hours of good quality sleep is what each of us require. So make sure you are taking that time of sleep. My dear friends, when you are going through these kind of patches, walking, taking a walk somewhere close to nature is one very, very beautiful exercise that you must try. Some of us struggle for lack of space, I understand, but whenever you can, wherever you can, somewhere close to where you live, without letting down your guard, without removing your masks, maybe you should take a walk somewhere close to nature. Some place where there are trees, or if you get a chance to go onto the beach, or any place where you can experience the beauty of nature. Nature has its own way of healing us. It has the power to heal by its beauty, by its serenity, by its calmness. So when you take a walk through nature or through any place that is close to nature, you will experience God's healing love flowing through you. You will experience the healing love of nature flowing through you. It is a very, very useful way to calm yourself and to de-stress, especially from difficult emotions like grief. A little bit of exercise, a little bit of stretching at home is also allowed, but don't push yourselves to work out very heavily, especially when you are going through emotional turmoil. Don't push yourselves to do too much of strenuous activity, because it is not something that your body can take during a difficult patch like this. All right? I'd also like to give you a small word on for people who are going through fears and anxieties. My dear friends, that again is inevitable. There is no doubt that there is enough reason for you to be afraid of. I agree to that. But countering your fears, countering your anxieties and overcoming them is again very, very vital. You cannot let the fear and the anxieties take over you, because that is giving an opening to more struggles and to more long-lasting issues, to more chronic issues, and sickness and disease will follow. So if you are dealing with fear, if you having to deal with anxiety, there is one easy way that I want you to try. Put down your fears, put down your anxieties, write it down, put it down on paper, write it down somewhere. It seems like a very simple exercise, but it really helps. You need to just write down your fear, like maybe you're afraid of dying, so I am afraid of dying, or I am afraid of falling sick, or whatever your fear, put it down. When you look at the fear written in the written form, somehow as you read it, you'll realize that it's not so bad after all. When you see it in the written form, it is less daunting, and you may even look at it and smile and tell yourself that it's not so bad. Because what happens is your fears are otherwise in your mind, and your mind tends to blow it out of proportion and make it look bigger than it actually is. But when you put it down on paper with your little handwriting there, you'll realize that it is after all not so big, not such a big deal. And then to that fear that you have written on the other side of the paper, I would want you to counter that fear or that negative thought with something positive. For example, I am healthy, I am strong, I am brave, anything that boosts your confidence, any positive statement. So for every negative thought, or for every fear or every anxiety that you write down on the paper, counter it with a positive thought and write that down too, and read the positive statements aloud so that your ears can hear these statements. Every time you hear it, it doesn't mean you have to make the neighbors hear, but you yourself must be able to hear. And every time you hear it, it gives you the confidence that your subconscious needs to listen to. So try this simple exercise, and it will really help you overcome your fears and anxieties. During this time, I would recommend, do not watch movies and TV shows or any of these programs that are heavy, or that involve crime, or that involve horror and thriller kind of content, because it's going to make you more tense, it's going to make you more scared, it's going to it's going to do the opposite of letting you relax. So instead of that, focus on light-hearted entertainment, focus on on reading a light book, maybe something that will keep your mind away, or keep your mind relaxed, or keep your mind calm. Also, I would recommend that you indulge in some activity that makes you happy. some of you like to try a new recipe maybe, or you would want to do a DIY project at home, or there's something that you've been long wanting to do and you haven't got the time to do. Make the time, take out at least half an hour to 45 minutes on a daily basis and indulge in some activity that makes you happy, that makes you feel fulfilled, that enhances the creativity within you. And this will be a good way to enhance the healing process in your mind and in your mental health. My dear friends, we all can get over this together. And if you ever experience a struggle or a difficulty in getting over any of these emotions, please reach out to someone. Do not struggle with them on your own, because each of us are created in such a way that we are meant to hold each other's hand. That is how humanity is by nature. The whole of humankind depends on each other. We are not born to be isolated. We were never created as isolated beings. We were created to be social beings. And so reaching out to someone when you are in a need of someone to talk to, or you are struggling with a fear or anxiety, reaching out to someone is very, very important. Please do not hesitate. Please talk to someone and express what's going on within your system. And that will help. It will help a great deal for you to start feeling much better. My dear friends, I invite you to take this little exercise with me. Whoever is listening to me at this moment, I would invite you to just put the things that you are doing aside for a few minutes. Just 5 minutes this is going to take. I invite you to just settle down, sit down calm wherever you are. Put your feet on the ground and your palms on your lap, and close your eyes, sit erect, and take a few deep breaths. Breathe in and breathe out very slowly. Let's do it together. All right? Let's all breathe in together and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Let us continue to take slow and deep breaths in and out. Let's do this 5 or 6 times. Breathe in and out. As you breathe in, feel the air filling up in your lungs. As you breathe out, smile. And now, with your eyes closed, I invite you to imagine any one person who has died recently, someone who really meant something to you. Maybe a family member or someone you knew close. Imagine that person who has passed away. Imagine him or her smiling at you. Imagine him to be in a heavenly place, some beautiful place that you imagine heaven to be like. And imagine that person smiling, standing next to the Creator and looking down at you with so much of joy. My dear friends, when we pass from this world to the other and we become souls and not bodies, we do not, as souls, do not experience the pain and the suffering that we go through as human beings. So they are definitely devoid of pain, and they are definitely in a space where there is joy. So when they smile down at you, I'm sure it will make you smile also. And each time you remember this loved one, remember them like this, and it will help you overcome the struggle that you are going through. I thank each one of you for listening to me, and I wish you all happy and joyful minds always.
Thank you, Dr. Angelica, for your valuable insights and solutions. I am sure most of us will benefit from this session, and it will help us to face our daily challenges in a positive manner. And to our viewers, hoping that this session has given you all the necessary inputs to cope with your problems effectively. I now call upon our parish priest, Father Felix, to say a few words and conclude the session.
My dear friends, we have heard Dr. Angelica informing us about mental health. Yesterday, on Saturday, we had Dr. Fiona explaining to us about simple exercises that would help us combat the coronavirus while we leave the rest to the doctors. Mental health is another very important topic. And I'm glad that Dr. Angelica, she has outlined how we can be aware of these signs as they take possession of our system. And then being aware of it, we can do something. I just want to mention to you that I met Father Godfrey, who is into this whole ministry of mental health. And he was telling me about 10 things that we need to take care of in our parishioners. 1, suicide instincts. 2, the fatigue that is setting in. 3, the stress busters. 4, the grief because you have lost a loved one. 5th, coping skills. 6th, conflicts have come in the family. There is depression. 7. 8, people have got into addictions. 9, there is loneliness. And 10, the whole relationships have been impacted because of this coronavirus, this pandemic. And therefore, we are so happy that this is a start about what we would like to give also in future. Dr. Angelica has made the start. In future, we will have the healthcare programs for our parish, because we want to build up that emotional content of our system, the coping skills, being able to kind of diagnose what's happening within us so that we are fully human and fully alive. Mental health is an important topic. I thank Dr. Angelica for dealing with it. In a short while, you can't have everything, but as I said earlier, we will have more of it later on. I take this opportunity to thank everyone who was involved. Dr. Fiona yesterday, Dr. Angelica today, and next time we will have many others. But the parish communication cell has been behind it. And we want the health of our parishioners to be topmost. The Lord said, I have come that you may have abundance of life. That abundance is something I want in all our parishioners. God bless you.
Thank you, Father Felix, for your inspiring words. Before we end the session, just a reminder, there is an exciting event for our children in the coming week, put together by the youth of our parish. This is the second edition of the Chill and Skill program, which will include various fun activities ranging from art, craft, cooking and Zumba. It will be premiered on the parish YouTube channel from the 17th to the 21st of May from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. To all our viewers, kindly inform your children and those belonging to your community as well as other parishes about this event so that they can participate and make the most of it. So I am going to end today's session with a song that I have written and composed. I hope that it helps you get through your problems and it makes you feel better once you hear it. So before I sing the song for you all, I'd like to teach you the chorus so that you can sing it along with me, and this is how it goes. We'll be fine, we'll get through this. Let's not lose hope, our loved ones will help us cope. Let's sing it one more time. We'll be fine, we'll get through this. Let's not lose hope, our loved ones will help us cope. Now this is how the song goes. Hey! Are you anxious of losing someone precious? Do you feel crippled because things are dismantled? Or are you struggling with uneasy thoughts on your own? Well, it's time to share them all with someone you know. So together we'll say, we'll be fine, we'll get through this. Let's not lose hope, our loved ones will help us cope. The news seems distressing, but focus on your blessings. As long as you're breathing, it's a miracle. So stop second guessing. Now don't forget to meditate. Hydrate, express your emotions. It's time to make that your slogan. So together we'll say, we'll be fine, we'll get through this. Let's not lose hope, our loved ones will help us cope. In case you're grieving the loss of a loved one, and most probably things around you seem to have spun, but don't be afraid, you're not the only one. We empathize and love you a ton. So one last time, let's say, we'll be fine, we'll get through this. Let's not lose hope, our loved ones will help us cope. That's it. Thank you. Stay safe until we meet the next time.